This week on LSMN Overtime, we'll be looking at the football playoffs, basketball scores, and a father-son duo at Colony High School. Thanks for tuning in to the fall season finale of LSMN Overtime. I'm Tori Stevens. Let's get right into some football. Friday night was the bi-district playoff round. 9-1 Lewisville hosted McKinney Boyd. Boyd came in with an 8-2 record. The Farmers started off strong with a quick rushing touchdown from Damian Martinez. But the Broncos answered back quickly, scoring a touchdown on a long pass to Peyton Shaw. The Farmers regained the lead later in the first quarter on a rushing touchdown from Armani Winfield. The Broncos missed a field goal in the second quarter, but a blocked punt by Boyd led to another Broncos score and a halftime lead. In the second half, the Farmers buckled down on defense and scored 2 more rushing touchdowns, thanks to Damian Martinez. The Farmers beat the Broncos 27-17. On Friday, Lewisville will be taking on Arlington Martin in the area finals. Over at Marcus, the Marauders hosted the Prosper Eagles for their bi-district matchup. Prosper scored a touchdown within the first 3 minutes of the game. Late in the first quarter, Marcus got their second turnover with an interception. By safety Chance Sauter ended up with 2 of the Marauders' 6 turnovers of the night. The Marauders got their first touchdown halfway through the second quarter with a nice 10-yard pass by Jackson Warren to receiver Isaac Katab. The Marauders went into halftime with the Eagles leading 14-7. Late in the third quarter, Sauter scored a rushing touchdown to tie up the game. Marcus would lead 21-14 in the fourth quarter after a short rushing touchdown by senior Emric DePona. However, Prosper answered quickly with a touchdown of their own, sending the game into overtime. The Eagles then scored the game-winning touchdown, defeating the Marauders 28-21 in OT, and knocking the Marauders out of the playoffs. In other playoff games, Flower Mound lost to Denton Guyer 14-34, and Allen beat Hebron 59-30. This football season has ended for everyone but LHS. We wanted to take a moment to recognize some of the best performers in LASD this year. Senior wide receiver Dallas Dudley made history this season by breaking the Marcus record for career receiving yards with 2,452 yards. Another person deserving recognition is LHS running back Damian Martinez, who has racked up a career 3,557 rushing yards, including over 1,300 yards in 2021. Martinez and the Farmers will try to add up to the total as they continue into the playoffs. Turning to basketball action, in their first game of the year, Marcus hosted Allen in a non-district matchup. Allen came into the game with a 1-0 record. The Marauders were led by Zane Hickey, who had a double with 15 points, 15 rebounds, plus 4 assists. Cole Jarrett scored 11 points in the game, and Dominic Harris had 9. Luke Smith led the way defensively with 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. Marcus defeated Allen 59-47. Other boys action this week. Tuesday night, Flower Mound beat Dallas Spruce in a tight game, 47-44. LHS lost to Timberview, 65-50. On Monday night, Hebron took down Grand Prairie, 58-34. The Colony boys basketball coach has been connecting with his son through their love of the game. Victoria Jones has more on that story.
The Colony High School boys basketball team has a unique energy between a father and son.
Growing up, I played a lot of different sports, and I had the most fun playing basketball, so it just made sense to stick with it.
I actually swore I was never going to get into teaching and coaching, and my dad was a football coach, and so 25 years later, I've been teaching and coaching basketball, so it's just always been a passion of mine growing up.
Senior Grayson Ryan is graduating this year and describes what he'll miss about being on the basketball team.
I like the atmosphere that we have here. We have a different program than a lot of other schools because we have like a tradition going on.
Being on the same team that his father coaches proves to create an interesting dynamic.
First it was difficult. We've gotten used to it, and I think now it's good. We have a good bond going. Yeah, I'll miss it, but I mean, it's good to move on to new things. It'll be good to play basketball in college under a different coach. It'll be good to change things up every once in a while.
It's been interesting. Now coming up to his senior year and just wanting to make the most of it and enjoy it. It's been fun watching him grow up as just 4-year-old, 5-year-old playing basketball, running around our gym, and to now getting to play in it, and him getting to watch a lot of the players over the years, and for him now to get to play on the same court that those guys got to. It's a lot of fun. Getting to be around him every day, whether it's rides to school, rides home, practices, all the little things that I don't want to take anything for granted, just trying to enjoy every moment of it.
The Ryans have learned that every moment matters when it comes to family. Reporting for LSMN Overtime, I'm Victoria Jones.
In girls basketball scores for Tuesday, Byron Nelson defeated Marcus 51-38. Flower Mound beat Mesquite Horn 53-47. Lewisville lost to Braswell 34-53. Hebendown McKinney 52-46. The Colony had Tuesday off, but will have a busy end of the week with tournament action on the 18th and 19th. 6 feet 9 inches is an impressive height for a high school basketball player, but it's an incredible height when that player is a junior on the girls' team. Erin Massey has this tall tale from Flower Mound.
Returning to the open building is number 11, Eunice.
Besides her height, the first thing that caught my eye was just her love for the game of basketball. She's got a great knowledge of the game, but she loves the game and she plays with that passion every time you see her play.
Abby Boutier has been a part of the varsity team since sophomore year.
She's very sweet, on and off the floor, but she can have a Main Street to her on the floor too when she gets going. But she just loves being a part of a group. She loves being a part of a team, and she's going to put the team first no matter what.
Abby's been like a really good teammate. She's always encouraging, and she's always like really humble. She doesn't like think that she's the best out there, so she's always putting in her hardest effort.
She's so nice and like sweet, and like it's like intimidating. Like when I first met her, I was like intimidated, but like after getting to know her, it's like she's awesome.
Being 6'9" it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of like advantages. Like obviously I can reach a lot higher than a lot of other people, but it also comes with a lot of like just kind of regular stuff, just not really different than anything else. Just our team bonding has been a lot of fun. Even we've only started like 1 week, we've already come together so much since off season.
Abby's efforts haven't been ignored though, as she's already committed to the University of Texas.
I mean, some days I have my days like, dang, I wish it was like easy to get down low or whatever, but I mean it's not been bad.
For LSMN Overtime, I'm Erin Massey.
This episode on Coach's Corner, Brody Lewis sits down with Karen Keeney, the head volleyball coach at Hebron.
Now by Hebron head volleyball coach Karen Keeney. Coach Keeney, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You are possibly in the toughest volleyball district this year with multiple teams ranked in the top 10. Do you feel like you performed better than expected considering how you made it further in the playoffs than those teams?
I think our playoff run was better than I expected, but our district run was pretty dismal in that we had to fight for that 4th place spot really hard at the end.
Mm-hmm. And now with the season over, you're losing a good amount of seniors. Do you have any idea of the kind of players taking over for them?
Our biggest hole is going to be our setting position. That's going to be the position we're going to be needing the most. I do have some freshmen, sophomores, a couple juniors that are going to have to step into those hitting roles, but it's that setting position that's going to be what we're going to be working really hard at over the off season.
Mm-hmm. And finally, what are your goals for next season?
For us, it's going to be getting experience. We'll probably be more on the youth side next year with a lot of starting sophomores. And, we'll have a much smaller senior group next year. So it's going to be interesting, but it'll be more of a learning experience for us next year.
All right, well, that's all the time we have this time. Thanks again for joining me, Coach, and have a great off season.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
This week's Spotlight goes out to the Flower Mound Lady Jaguars basketball team. They won the Northside ISD tournament this past weekend, destroying their opponents throughout the tournament. The Jags outscored everyone by 117 points in 4 games, winning 2 games by 40-plus points. They also showed a dominant defense, giving up only 44 points in the first 2 games of the tournament. In addition, 3 Flower Mound players were identified in the all-tournament team. With 2 preseason wins going into the weekend, Flower Mound is 6-0 in the new season. This is a very impressive start for the Jaguars, and it will be exciting to see how the rest of the season goes for them. For LSMN Overtime, I'm Brendan Selke.
That's all the sports news for this episode, concluding this fall season of LSMN Overtime. Join us in the spring for more information on what's happening with sports around the district. I'm Tori Stevens, and thanks for watching LSMN Overtime.